In this video, we're breaking down 3 exciting plays from the last few weeks to review crew of 2 mechanics, umpire signals, and situation handling. These are clips pulled from games I evaluated for the crews, and hopefully you'll be able to take away some notes from their plays to implement in your games. This is a new type of video, so let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the style, along with any notes you have on the plays we'll review. Hi everyone, Patrick Faerber from GHSA Baseball, Umpire Development, and Umpire Classroom, where we help umpires develop their knowledge and skills. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you're looking for a packaged course for new umpires, either for yourself or for use in your association, you can learn more by visiting our website at umpireclassroom.com. As our first play begins, we're going to have a runner on first and a bunt up the first base line that's going to have the pitcher coming to field that bunt and making a diving tag attempt on the batter runner. Let's break this play down and see what we can learn from it. To start, with a runner on first, our base umpire has multiple runners, so he can't go any further than the edge of the working area to make this call at first. So the positioning here is pretty good, but I would like to see the umpire stopped and set for the play versus still moving as it occurs. This is great timing by the base umpire on this play. He waits and sees the entirety of the play, and because he does that, he's able to see that the pitcher actually has his glove come off and the ball come out of the glove, meaning that there is no tag on this play and the runner is going to be safe. You can also see why all the players, other than the pitcher, are going to be upset by this call, because they're not looking at the ball on the ground, they're looking at the umpire. But thankfully, our umpire is paying attention and knows where to be looking. So while our umpire makes a great call on this, he should have had a better mechanic that instead of just saying safe, he should have said safe, balls on the ground. If he had said balls on the ground here, that would have answered the question for the players, it would have answered the question for the coach. But because he doesn't do that here, it leaves them all with a question, not understanding why he wasn't out. So this is a great example of an opportunity to say safe, balls on the ground, and answer that question before it's even asked. This next part I originally sped through because it took so much time, but here we can talk about it a little more. This interaction with the coach needs to be sped up pretty significantly. Look, on a play like this where we know what we had, there's nothing our partner is going to give to us that's going to change the call. We know the ball was on the ground. We need to be able to answer that to the coach and just tell him immediately, hey, the ball was on the ground, that's why we're going with the runner being safe. And have some confidence in your call. Even if the coach says, hey, well, can you at least help me out and go get help? The answer can be no. You used your judgment, you saw everything you need, tell him, no, that's what I have, that's what we're going with, we need to move on. Okay, so on this play, we all agree that you don't need to go get help. But if this was a play where you did think your partner might have information that you did not have, such as a pulled foot, then we should pretty much immediately be, from the time the coach comes out to talk to us, pretty much be immediately going to talk to our partner, telling him, hey, we're going to go get help. And remember, tell the coach we won't get together for a crew consultation until after the coach is back in the dugout, and if we don't overturn the call, he cannot come back out to ask about it. And this play is a great example. The coach comes out and talks to the plate umpire for another minute, which is just delaying the game over something that isn't even the plate umpire's call. This is the base umpire's call. But once we've told the coach that we're going to get together, he has to go back to the dugout. As soon as he came out onto the field, he should have been restricted for the rest of the game. After we've gotten together and not overturned a call, the coach cannot come out under any circumstance to discuss the previous call. In our next play, we're going to talk about responsibilities with seeing touches of bases and what this crew could have done to get this call right. This play is going to have a runner on first, stealing on the pitch, with a potential obstruction by the shortstop that neither one of our crew members is going to see and call. So there's really no doubt that there's obstruction on this play. The shortstop not making a play on the ball impedes the runner's progress towards third, causing the runner to fall down and then ultimately for the runner to try and retreat back to second. Now, if we were to properly enforce obstruction on this, it would result in us awarding R1 to third. But since we don't see it, we're obviously not going to do that, but let's talk about how we could have seen this on this play. Now, of course, in Accruit 2, we're not going to be able to see necessarily everything, so there will be mistakes. On a play like this, the original responsibility for seeing the touch a second belongs to the base umpire. Our base umpire always holds responsibilities for touches of first and second, and that includes seeing the runner get past the fielders really hanging out at that base. So in this scenario, the base umpire holds the primary responsibility for seeing R1 round second and get past the second baseman and shortstop. So let's look at what the plate umpire was doing on this play and discuss what he probably could have been doing that might have given him the opportunity to see that obstruction. First, note that this play has R1 stealing on the pitch. We need to know that as umpires working at the high school level or even at the collegiate level, those runners are going to be a lot faster than us. And we need to know that on a situation like this where R1 is stealing on the pitch, you can see just how close he is already to second by the time our plate umpire is even coming out of his stance. So most likely our plate umpire is not going to make it to third in time to get into a good position to see the play at third. So our plate umpire needs to be letting our partner know that I'm staying home. We're not going to have a rotation on this, and instead the plate umpire will drop down to the point of the plate. Then by dropping down to the point of the plate, that should open up our vision to see the obstruction around second and ultimately save the crew by seeing that from the plate. Finally, the last play we're going to have is a potential double play with the last play being at the plate. We're going to see some great work by our plate umpire to get the perfect angle to make the decision on this play. To start, this is a great call by our plate umpire. He has a great positioning at the third base line extended and working off the catcher's left hip that allows him to see exactly when the tag is applied relative to when the runner's hand reaches the plate. As you see here, if he was in the first base line extended, then he would have a hard time telling when the catcher actually makes the tag on the runner. That's why it's so important that we work off the third base line extended and off of the catcher's hip to get the best angle to see this play. So there's our 3-play breakdown. Be sure to leave me a note in the comments if you like this style of video and any thoughts you may have on these plays. Also, you can send game film that you'd like to submit for evaluation on the channel to patrick@umpireclassroom.com. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the field.